He like that bang, bang, bang. He like that bum, bum, bum. He like that love, love, love. I'm like that drug, drug, drug. He trip when he on it. One taste and he want it.
In August, you all released your self-titled third studio album, Fifth Harmony. Got to co-write a little bit and really put your voice into this album. What was the goal?
I feel like the goal was to have our most authentic piece of art that we've had so far. We've been together for 5 years now, so it was quite a process, being that we were a formulated girl group on a TV show, and there's a lot of, especially in the industry realm of things, people kind of doubting your abilities or your talents as an actual songwriter or as an actual artist. So it was kind of difficult, but we kind of gained the respect throughout the career with those songwriters and producers that we worked with and with our label, and they trusted us, and we demanded it also. We were like, we need to write on this album because we're all individually, singer-songwriters, and we're very passionate about that. So we wanted our voice to be as authentic as possible this round.
What was the message that you all were trying to convey that was different from 727 or Reflection?
I'm not sure if there was a particular message going in. I think that we were just really excited to kind of have the freedom for the first time. Like Lauren said, we never got the opportunity before, even though we are like singer-songwriters, being a manufactured girl group. I think people kind of paint this idea of us not being authentic or being able to be creative, but just the fact that we got a chance to be in the studio with one another, talk about our experiences and what we've been through. We could literally write a book about everything that we've gone through together and individually. So I think that that's kind of something we wanted to put through the music, and I think it's just growth as well, the place that we're in and just the happiness. I think that you can hear so much more through this body of work than any body of work before. I think it shows now more than ever.
Yeah, and I feel like we also definitely, message-wise, like in our past albums, we wanted to keep the same messaging in terms of like, the girl power and self-love and self-discovery, and then just like having fun, like topics of life that we have touched upon, just in a more authentic voice this time than we ever have, because it came from us this time instead of people writing the songs for us.
And I think what's also so special is the fact that we were able to play off of genres that we all collectively love and are into, such as R&B and soul and a little reggae in there. It's a mixture of things, and it was very important for us to incorporate that, so while we're on stage and performing these songs, we are in love with it and we feel confident about it.
Was there a song off of the Fifth Harmony album that you consider like your baby because it really spoke to a real life experience?
I would say Messy is a really special one that Normani and I
That was the other one that I was thinking of.
With the Dream Lab, who are some amazing, hilarious Aussies. They're so funny, so much fun. And it's kind of ironic because the song's more vulnerable. But it was so much fun writing with them and being able to connect. Normani and I were really inspired by the music, and we were like, you know what, let's talk about this, because sometimes, we have those songs where we're very confident and out there and everything's great, but we don't really have a lot of songs that kind of show that softer, more vulnerable, exposed side. So we were really feeling inspired that day by our emotions and, kind of getting in that little place.
I wanted to touch on Messy for a second because the message in that song is embracing your insecurities and just dancing around the room with nothing but the radio on and really just like feeling in touch with yourself. You guys are always on the road, hustling and bustling. How do you find the time to really connect with yourself, especially being in a group?
Yeah, it's a conscious effort. I feel like it's like you can't, because I find myself getting caught up sometimes where like a week has gone by and I don't, like it's just like wake up, work, sleep, wake up, work, sleep, wake up, work, sleep, wake up, work, sleep, and I get kind of caught up in that, and I'm like, wait a minute, like I need to breathe. Like I like to read books, I like to listen to music, I like to like really loud on a speaker, not even like earbuds, like in a speaker, like filling the whole room.
For me personally, it's like as simple as calling my grandma or my dad back at home and just having like an hour conversation about whatever it is that I'm going through, because it is like really hard being, caught up and being in the limelight, and especially because, we're public figures and we've been doing this since we were like 15 years old. So I think that for me personally, there has been times where I'm like, oh damn, I don't even really like recognize myself anymore. I need to get back to remembering who I am. And I think that just having a great support system around you, even with having each other, really does, it helps that a lot. And going to church helps me a lot too. So.
I think it's as simple as like taking like a little blanket with you from home, little things that remind you of home. I bring my cousin with me and replace it with my mom.
An actual human.
Honey, you need to step away a little bit. So just like a little growing up to, you know, like I need you to feel like you're 20.
Absolutely, that's so important, Dinah.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. Like it does help. I have my stuffed animal moose.
Literally still has loose
So
He's
cute.
so cute. My dad gave him to me when I was a little girl, and I've kept him with me throughout everything in my life. Like, and he will not ever be in a suitcase because God forbid something happens in my suitcase. I can't lose him. So I have to keep him.
Should have brought him to the round table.
I know, right? He's sleeping. He's nap, guys.
He's resting.
But I love when we have a break. Just going home is so. I don't even know how to really describe it. So euphoric and therapeutic and so relaxing. And there's just nothing like being surrounded with your family members who just love you and adore you for who you are and who really know you for who you are.
When you guys are working, like Lauren, you said you wake up, work, and then go to sleep. What's a quick fix for those days when you wake up and you just feel a little off?
Breathing exercises. Like
That's important.
Just
You gotta
kind of, yeah. I kind of just like take periodic moments throughout the day where I just kind of inhale, exhale a few times, and just kind of gather myself, because there really is no remedy for it, because you can't think about it. You just have to go, you know, because we work such long days sometimes. Sometimes we wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning and don't go to bed till midnight, you know, and those kind of days are draining. They really are, because you're doing interviews, you're talking to a lot of people, you're in heels all day, which is the worst. So yeah, it's tough, but breathing it out and texting people you love.
I feel like it's also super important that you like read some really motivating quotes in the morning. I've been doing that a lot lately, where you just like sit back and you just like, wow, this is my lifestyle. Like look back at when you were 15, 11 years old, and you're like, how did I get here? And then you just start appreciating
The
it.
grateful.
And then you
Gratitude
gratitude most definitely is so important.
So it's been 5 years since the X Factor, and I feel like, you know, there's so many industry lessons to be learned within that time frame.
Girl.
So can you drop a gem that a woman or like another female mentor has given to you that you've taken with you on this journey?
Okay, so Dina LaPole, she's our
Dina!
This woman changed our lives, straight up. But one of the best things that I feel like she told us was, I don't care how old you are, I don't care what people have told you, you need to know your business. You need to figure out all of the working parts, and here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this, here's this, and this is why you need to pay attention.
She took the time.
Read your contracts. That is like one of the most important things about this industry. There's so many sharks out there looking to
It makes you understand it.
tear you apart, and it gets really sad because I've seen a lot of super talented people get swallowed by their contracts, and it's so sad.
It's horrifying.
Because it's like they suck the life out of them, and then once they're dry, they're like, okay, cool, moving on to the next one. You know,
It's a
disposable.
cycle.
People are disposable.
Yeah, it's not just all glam and get on a stage. Like, no. There are
a whole
so
business.
many moving parts, and it's a corporation. Like, it's literally an industry. So,
Yeah, absolutely. That's
about you,
amazing
Allie?
advice. Pieces. Just take in every moment and enjoy it. Breathe. And then also just trust God through everything, because it can be really, really crazy and really hard. And you see a lot of things in this industry that are horrifying. And there are things that have happened to us that are really just horrifying at the end of the day. Just to have that faith and just to know that things are going to be challenging in your life, but just to persevere.
everything's a lesson.
Yeah.
I keep a journal with me. I used to write since I was like 10, because my grandmother gave me this journal, and it's like my first time writing. She's like, you need to just write like how your day is, and every little thing, because you'll forget it. Your memory cannot hold every little thing. So it was funny because during X Factor we bumped into Kelly Rowland, and she mentioned the same thing, and I was like, oh, I do have a journal. She's like, it's necessary that you guys all write down what's happened throughout your day, because it becomes all such a blur.
Yeah.
And she was saying how like she kind of regrets not keeping those memories or like documenting them. I've kind of held on to that because every little moment counts. And for me, I want to remember those moments. I want to remember how I felt. I want to remember what was going on in my mind. And so that one day when I look back, I'm like, wow, I went through all this.
And it's not just documenting on social media, it's an actual conversation with yourself.
Exactly.
That's the most important part. I would say also Kelly Rowland. She just told us how important it is to take pictures and to document, you know, every single thing that you go through because it's too good. And I actually find myself sometimes like, oh my God, we were actually at the White House like twice, and we were invited to the White House. It's like moments like that you never. Why Obama in the show? Let's make that clear.
Let's make it very clear.
And it's just like we've done the MTV Music Awards, and we've done so much, like more than I would have even thought coming into it. We've killed it, and we're only. I'm 21 years old. You're 21. You're 24. You're 20 years old, and we're so young, and we've just done so much living.
Yeah.
And I think that one thing that she really stressed, she just kept saying like, take pictures, write everything down. You don't want to forget any of it. And she said that that's one thing that she regretted was not documenting everything. And then also Nicki Minaj, she said, never let anybody steal your joy.
Oh,
Shout out
yes.
to Nikki.
That was a good one.
That's when I went and peed. I wasn't there.
She missed out.
I missed out. I went to go pee, and they had a Nicki Minaj moment while I was in the restroom.
Thanks.
And I was really sad.
No, but we're gonna have
It's okay.
Yeah.
You look cute.
It's okay. I was in her Instagram story.
Yeah, there you go.
At least.
Looking back on this past year, what was the biggest hurdle that you guys experienced as a group and individually, and how did you overcome it?
I think for us making this album, I think there's just so much that kind of went into it and so much that was going on. I feel like we knew who we were and we wanted to find our sound, but we also had to really be vocal and put our foot down. And just say like, hey guys, we're creating the album that we want. We've been working very hard and we want to be able to write. So Chris Anakute came in and he helped with all that. And he was able to really give us that freedom and that freedom to have the input that we finally wanted.
Honestly, we can't even pick one.
Almost every day.
It's an ongoing.
There is a problem. There's something. There's some little demon working some little thing.
Yeah.
We always overcome though.
We're resilient.
We are so
That's
resilient.
what we do.
I am
We
so
really are.
proud of us. I can't even explain to you. Like, there's just so much and so many moments that. So many people that like just they don't want to see you win.
Yeah.
Like Khaled says, like it's a real thing.
It really is.
They
It's a
don't
real
they
thing.
don't want to see you win. They don't want to see you thrive. They don't want to see you happy. It's like this.
But look at the smile, y'all.
Right? We're smiling, and God is watching over and making sure that we're clear. Like,
Amen.
and it's really like it's about a focus thing. It's a mentality thing. Like I feel like we go into survival mode so often. We're like, what are we gonna do to get this done?
And
we always
imagine
figure
being
it
in
out.
that place, only having to depend on one another.
Each other, yeah.
Like, luckily now we have an amazing team that we feel supported by.
Yes.
But there was a time where it was just the four of us. And it's like, what the hell are we going to do? How are we going to get through this?
Yeah.
And I think that our resilience comes from
each other.
And
I think personally, like overcoming like insecurity. I think I personally had a lot of growth with that this year.
Oh my gosh, me too.
More than ever in my life. I just have a really good support system around me, and like I'm very sure of myself and my purpose and like what I can offer the world. And when you do that, like when you separate your purpose from like, oh, what is everyone else doing and what how can I be like that, or you know what I mean? Like when you separate yourself from that and you're like, I'm the shit. Yeah. I'm cool. Like, let me just be me. Let me just like elevate me.
Because you're always all in your head.
That's what I'm saying. And this industry does that to you.
How do you maintain, and this is no pun intended, harmony within a group, but still be true to yourselves?
I think the best thing is when you can kind of like take your ego and your pride away.
Put it in a little box.
Yeah, and say
over
like,
here.
And then
analyze the
burn it.
situation. Analyze the situation and just admit. I think the best thing and the most important thing in running a healthy group is admitting when you're wrong. You know, admitting when like,
And then it's not wrong to be
I
wrong.
didn't. Yeah, that's the thing.
That we're all growing and learning,
growing,
and
yeah.
sometimes life is intense, so you're gonna fuck up. You're gonna do things
Yes.
sometimes that you're like, wait, I didn't even mean to do that.
That's
I'm so
the thing.
sorry.
And
Like,
communicating and being able to see it from the other person's side, like, oh, I didn't mean it that way, but you took it that way, and I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't mean that, or you thought that was that way, but it really wasn't. And I'm sorry for that lack of communication or whatever. But the most important thing is to speak to each other in any relationship, y'all. Friendship, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
It's true.
It's the big thing. It's the big
Having that
Number
open
one
channel.
key.
I think it's also
Major key.
a matter of making sure that everybody feels supported. Because like what you asked, making sure that you still have your individuality while still
Yes.
supporting the group, which is the core of
Absolutely.
absolutely everything. I think just having everybody recognize, where home is, which is Fifth Harmony, and that's the root of it all. Like that's the source that kind of drives us all individually to be able to do anything else that we want to do. But in doing that, it's like, I'm happy for you, girl. Like, this is what makes your heart smile. Having that confidence and recognizing that each of us can be fucking great.
Absolutely.
And that I can be great, and you can be great, and you can be great, and you can be great in your own
especially.
way, and we can all shine.
We're also different from one another. Like, we listen to different things. I mean, we like a lot of things.
And we can be
that we
similar.
do love.
For sure.
Yeah, they're similar.
Very similar. But we are very different from one another. So
Yeah.
It's really cool. It's like fun. It's like a little.
we love different
party,
styles of
guys.
music. I mean, on the carpet we wear different styles of clothes, but we all keep it very cohesive.
Yeah.
We make it work.
Shout out to that. Well, shout out to you guys.
Oh man, I
Toast
ran
to
out
the-
of water.
You want some?
Give me a little bit just for the cheers purposes. Thank you.
Cheers, guys.